This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
One other little backdoor thing, or back room thing is
Backdoor?
I love how you have obscure European military references for everything. It's awesome.
do PEDs. They work. They're fun.
I put it in hard.
Can I get just that part clipped out?
That is definitely one of the clips that will start the show, of course. Yes, that'll be a drop for the beginning of the show. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. I have another butt gun story, Jeff.
You and your butt guns.
It's so
Is this
funny.
a Freudian thing?
I don't think so. It's probably not, but I find it amusing. That's all. It's not even a story. It's just a random... I got hooked on these YouTube videos where people do dumb stuff in front of cops, mostly teens and women who think they don't have to listen. And then eventually they find out the hard way that, yes, indeed they do. And this is an explanation by a police officer to a teen's mom, a guy who had a butt gun.
These officers conducted a traffic stop. Okay, your son resisted. When I showed up, he was on the ground handcuffed. I am the officer that pulled this out of your son's underwear. Okay, that's not a commonplace. I'm sure he's not licensed to carry this, so that's a jail sentence right there. I don't carry my firearm in my underwear. Okay, clinched between my butt cheeks. That's exactly where it was, and that's what my report's gonna say.
That is amazing.
It was just such a great piece of audio. I'm like, I am snagging this for the show because that's fantastic. I'm oddly hooked on these videos. They're like medium production, you know? Some guy with a halfway decent voice is doing the narration, and then it's just sort of put together. But butt gun stories, they make me smile. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. It was bigger than a bodyguard. That's all I know. It was something larger than a bodyguard. I couldn't tell you what it was, but anyway, there you go. There's your ridiculous gun story nonsense.
Butt gun of the week.
The butt gun of the week. Well, it's more the butt gun of the month. The butt gun stories are hard to come by. I mean, they happen more often than one would think, but they're not a every week occurrence, like monthly if we're lucky. Jeff and I are in our respective homes right now. Mine in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Jeff's in suburban Omaha, Nebraska. But we were hanging out today, and we shot a match.
Yes, we did.
And we're going to talk about that match, the Hit Factor rifle match. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Also, we were going to do a show on Thursday to publish Friday to talk about the USPSA stuff. Yeah, we didn't do that for two reasons. One, Jeff had friends in town and went out to dinner, and I'm assuming you started getting drunk and the show would have been a shit show had you done it.
No, I was having Vietnamese food, so my bathroom was my best friend.
Oh,
for the night.
okay, yeah, you'd been doing the show in the toilet. Okay, the other reason was there was nothing to report on because nothing happened. They're still waiting on the opinion from the attorneys in Delaware, so there was nothing new. So I'm still not the Area 3 director, at least as of this recording on March 3rd at 7:22 p.m.
I do love how, this is a history nerd inside of me, that, I think it's something like 1/10 or 1/6 of the clubs in the country are in rebellion against them, and they're like, we're going to wait on some more legal things so that we can understand, instead of being like, hey, they're all asking if we just do this one thing, we can go back to make things right, so why don't we do that one thing and just forget about it.
I talked to Yeeman last week and asked, because I'm like everybody else, and it affects me directly, so I was like, what's the deal? And he explained that the law firm that they hired to do this, they're doing the due diligence. They're nailing this down as best they can. So, and that takes time.
Right. I get that. But what I'm saying is
it's frustrating,
screw the lawyers and just be like, hey, we screwed up. Our bad. Here you go, Scott. We were wrong. But I guess that opens up the lawsuit or something. But just going hey, we all screwed up. Let's just, Scott, here's your spot back. Our bad.
I would prefer that for sure, but at the same time, if as much as okay, I'm saying this not to try and defend. I'm saying it because I'm one who believes in the law and order of things. I like following the rules. And if bylaw 7.7 is legal because we're a nonprofit and not a for-profit corporation, then I think that bylaw should change. It needs to be somehow tougher, but it's still the bylaw. And if it was legal according to that opinion, then it sucks. I don't like it. I think it's stupid. The decision shouldn't have been made in the first place. But I don't know enough about it to know, can they roll back a decision?
I mean,
can they just undo it?
I mean, at the end of the day, all decisions are basically like, hey, is everyone cool with this? Yeah, cool. Like, it's only enforced if there's someone who wants to put up a stink and then wants to enforce it. So, like,
yeah,
to me, this just feels like it's kind of like like the legalese of it just feels weird to me. That it's like, hey, we screwed up, our bad. So, come on back. Like, it feels like that would be the simple answer to do, and we're stuck in this. Sorry, I get it. I get the rule following and the legalese, and we got to follow the bylaws and that. But I'm just like, just put the egg on your face and be like, my bad.
Trust me, I would prefer that be the thing that happens. I was just trying to explain it from the standpoint of why hasn't there been an answer yet? Because that is what I heard a lot of today and and all of this week after Wednesday, and so that's what's going on there. So basically, we're still status quo. And the reason, just in case anyone doesn't understand or know, the reason they haven't appointed an interim or put me in now that Luke dropped out is because if it wasn't legal, then they would have to undo a seated board member, and that's even more tricky. Now, had they seated me, let me just tell you, if they seated me and they're like, yeah, 7.7 wasn't legal, I would happily resign.
Right.
If they're like, we shouldn't have done this, great. Right. I got a great idea.
Right.
I'll just resign and you put Scott back in and everything's cool,
Right. It's one of those like, hey, we all agree like this is what we want to do, and you're like, well, but like if we'd have to remove Andy, then like that would make it. And it's like, but Andy's saying he would.
No. We can simplify this. This is not a problem.
Right.
That operates under the assumption that I actually wanted to be the area director. I will.
He is our Cincinnatus.
I will if I need to. I would prefer not to. I never sought out to be an area director. I felt oddly called after all this nonsense happened. So,
right.
So if I need to, I will. But if we can get Scott back, that's what I want and what the vast majority of the members of the organization want as well. So, anyway, moving on. We saw each other today. Before we talk about the match, I want to talk about the dot I brought you.
Yes.
So a few weeks ago, I ordered us each a Hollow Sun 507 comp, and Jeff was not in a hurry to get it, so he's like, whenever I see it next, you can bring it down. Well, and then I think within a week, you're like, hey, we're doing a Hit Factor rifle match. Okay, I'll be down in Omaha. So we saved $15 in shipping.
Hell yeah.
So you got it. You got it out of the box.
I did.
First impression pulling it out of the box.
It's smaller than I expected it to be.
That's funny you say that. I was a little bigger than I expected it to be.
Oh. Well, I guess it's all about perception.
Yeah.
Or
that's
size
what she
of the
said.
hand.
Yeah. I guess your hands are so much bigger that I suppose that by the way, no Jeff's very good friend, and I would say my friend Nolan, took a picture of us today that I'll post on Instagram. He sent it to me, and as soon as my wife got home, shortly after I got home tonight, I go, here, look at this. And she's like, oh my. And then I showed it to my son, my 12-year-old, and he goes, he makes you look small. I'm like, yes, son, he does. He makes me look like you when I'm standing there with my arm around you. He's like, bet. And yeah. So you got your 507 comp. It's smaller than you thought it would be.
Yep.
And we both have now. I don't have my 507 comp because it's down at Stonebridge Gunworks right now with my TSO slide. But I do have what you have also at your microphone. In addition to that, and that is a Burris Fastfire 3 and an SRO.
Yes.
And so, contrast and compare.
So the Holosun, the glass is bigger. I guess that's important. I do like the dot better. It's a lot. It's got a redder tint, if that matters to you, and it seems. I don't know. It seems sharper than the Burris, especially.
What MOA is your Burris?
The 8? 6?
Yeah, mine's an 8 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because no one else, everyone's like, oh, we like bigger dots. And everyone went, okay, we'll just stop at 5. And Burris was like, bet. And they were like 8.
Well, Seymour does like all the way up to like 12.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was
They do a whole bunch of dot sizes, especially in that old school, like open gun optic.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize, I had no idea because I never had one of those. You can just like switch out the module and it changes the dot size.
Yep.
I had no idea until I started, because I got a gift card at Multigun Nats last year for Seymour, and I started shopping. I still haven't bought one yet, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of get one of those for the 22 for Steel Challenge. But
that's what a lot of people use them. You got to turn the batteries off every time.
Yeah, they suck batteries.
Kill the batteries.
Oh yeah.
But the holding it up to my SRO, the dots seem reasonably the same. My SRO is so much dirtier that it kind of like, oh, the glass is so clear, but it's like,
It's
like,
probably your dirty SRO.
Yeah. Yes. The carbon that is embedded in the glass at this point is kind of warping. But I will say also, when the first time I pulled it out, it kind of threw me off because it has like 4 different like reticle choices, and when you first pull it out, giggity, all of them are active, and it makes it look really, really weird.
Yeah,
and I didn't like, and I was like, I don't like this at all.
It's like a ridiculously busy LPVO reticle.
Yeah, and so for those of you who don't have one, I had to look at the owner's manual to understand. You have to hold the negative button, and that cycles you through the reticle choices. And I like the first 2 small ones because they feel useful to me. And then I tried to like, I like kind of held the glass out like at my arm's length to replicate like it being on a gun, and it was like taking up my entire like miniature targets that I dry fire with. So like I was like, I'm not a fan of this. Like I don't know, but I could see myself use it for like a steel or a pro-am match or maybe steel challenge.
Yeah, because there's the 2 MOA dot and then an 8 MOA circle that's like a horseshoe. I actually like messing with, and then you can do combinations.
Yep.
Not like unlimited combinations, thank God, because it would take forever to cycle between them all. But you can do the 2 MOA dot with the 8 MOA ring around it, and that's what I have mine set for, is that. Because I do like a fatter dot. I didn't like the fact that I could see the split in it, but I'm like, dumbass, you shouldn't be staring at that anyway. Just look through it. And
it does feel extremely busy, and it seems like it's trying to accommodate too much when it's like, can I, like, I wasn't going to buy one of these until you offered to help me get one, but I was waiting for them to come out with the dot version only because I didn't feel like I needed the 32 MOA circle or whatever. And so I was hoping that they had hey, we just put one diode in this and no extra crap. And so here's it $50 off or something like that. But I mean, they're not expensive optics but like, I like it. I do.
One thing, set them on your desk or whatever you got in front of you.
Okay.
Like set the SRO and the 507 comp, like so they're both flat on their bases, and then look through the dots. I want you to verify something for me because I was holding them, not looking at them on a flat surface, so I don't know. I think the the dot in the window of the 507 rides a little lower than the SRO dot.
I can see what you're saying.
Like it would just be lower, closer to the bore.
Yeah,
on your pistol.
But yeah, we're talking
but is it not
like
as
millimeters?
Oh, it's not a lot. Okay. I
don't
couldn't
think so.
I was holding him in my hand, so I don't know if I had him perfectly straight, but it seemed like the SRO was a lot higher.
It's like 3 centimeters higher.
You mean millimeters? Centimeters would be like an inch and a half.
Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's not. I mean,
it's just a little bit.
It's a little bit shorter.
Okay.
So maybe it gives you a little. But I also have it. My SRO is mounted on a gun, so I'm just holding them against
yours
each
is
other.
not. Sure, I forgot. I have mine off of a gun because I was changing the battery and the gasket that's around the battery cap, I think, came out with it, and I was trying to put it back, and I did it wrong, and it wasn't working. I'm like, oh no, it stopped working. And then it turned out it was just because the gasket was like preventing contact from electricity conducting. So,
yeah, I have to take the SRO on the gun I have in front of me off, but I stripped the screws because I put too much Loctite on it, and so I bought a screw extraction kit, and I haven't been brave enough to actually attempt it yet.
With the dot screws.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I did that, I took that to the gunsmith. I am not dicking around with that. That's like a 3-minute job at a minimum hour of gunsmith labor. I'm good with that $35. I was not going to screw with that.
I might pay him to take it off, and then I'll just put the new Hollow Sun on it.
Yeah.
On it so that I have a Shadow 2 with a Hollow Sun.
Yeah, that's all I did. I just paid him to just take it off. Because I think mine wasn't stuck. It was stripped.
Yep.
The screw heads were stripped, and
mine stripped. But the reason I was taking it off is because the plate itself that it's sitting on has come loose, and so it wobbles. And I wasn't sure how much the wobble affected anything. So,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, it like I pulled it out for like our first match last month, and I was like, I'll use this gun. I haven't used this one in a while, and then I like checked the optic, and it was like, yeah, this is why I wasn't using it. It's because the optic is loose.
I suppose it gets to a point where the screws can't back out anymore, but they still have enough thread to hang on.
Yep.
Oh, that's because I was thinking, I was so afraid my dot was going to fly off, but I didn't even think about that until just now as you were describing it. Like, because I had that happen with my Glock once or a couple times. I've never had the screws back out of the dot to the plate. It's always been the screws plate to gun, and I red Loctite those.
Yeah. Oh, I red Loctite all mine because I'm an idiot.
You red Loctite the dot too?
I never intend to take it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm an idiot. But yeah, so that's partially why.
But when it craps out, then
I gotta go to a gunsmith. But like, I probably need to go to a gunsmith anyways.
Well,
but
I guess if it craps out, you don't care if you break it. Then I guess.
Right. And
well,
so
unless you're doing a warranty thing, though. But
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I'm actually worried about was the screws backing out, adding extra stress, and then them shearing off during the course of fire.
Yeah.
So I have seen dots come back into people's faces before.
Did you hear about the guy? I don't know where it was. I remember hearing about it on the Paracast once. A guy shot his dot. It flew off, went forward. It was a Delta Point Pro. It came off, and it just happened to fall right in line, and he shot it.
Dude, that's crazy.
And yeah, and I think they warranted it because they'd be stupid not to, because that's amazing.
Right,
because it was on. I think it was on video. So
yeah,
it wasn't.
I saw there was a comp that I think it was Parker Mountain or something, but it was like one of those big 1-port comps on a Glock for like a rolling Glock, and the ejected case landed in it, and then the round hit it and blew up, and it blew up the comp. Yeah, and the comp manufacturer was like, yeah, we're gonna warranty that, but can we use your video for for like a
we'll
cool
warranty
video?
it, but we own the video now.
Yep. Going back to the dots, and this is kind of just like a competition shooter thing, or if you're an equipment nerd, you got to think about this. It's like I want to try the Hollow Sun, but I'm nervous about trying it because I worry, because all my guns are the same, And so I worry about having to go find 2 more of them and then trade out all my SROs and sell them because I need everything to be the same so that if I pick up one gun, it's like I'm not having to rebalance and
I think because I was going between different guns with different dots. Because I was bouncing between before I put the Hollow Sun on my TAC Sport, I had it on a Glock. And I was going between the Canic with an SRO and a Glock with that. And it was, I mean, those are 2 very different guns. Like the grip angle's different, so I just got to dry fire whichever one I'm switching to a little bit. And, oh, okay, there it is.
Yep.
And I think if you had it on the same gun, I don't think you're going to notice a huge difference.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. I think that might be one of
especially
those.
with that one. If it was the regular 507, then it might be more of an issue.
Right. And yeah, it could be one of those little FUD things. And it also could just be like, I haven't tried it yet. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, no, these are completely the same. Like, I'm just being weird. But like, my OCD likes a uniformity as well. So
yeah, no, there's something to be said for that. Like having all the same thing for sure. But you go to your M&P with a SRO just fine. That's totally different.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think that might be like FUD lore stuff that kind of seeped into my brain a little bit. It's like, oh, all your equipment needs to be the exact same, or you're not going to be able to use it when you need it. And then it's like, wait a second, that's not how that works.
Yeah. I look forward to you seeing what you think after you actually shoot a gun with it on there a little bit. I like it just as much as the SRO, but the thing I like about it the most is it costs way less. And
yeah, that's the biggest key is like, since I have all the SROs, I'm not diving into change, but like I think it was Stager or one of the other competition guys was like, hey, like if you have SROs, don't go sell them. It's not like that much better.
No.
It might even just be equal, or maybe it's 5% worse, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like 50% cheaper.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, if you're trying to decide on an optic, or you're like, hey, like these SROs, I'm moving away from them, this would be a good option. Like this is a much better option, and it follows the Trijicon screw pattern, which every manufacturer should do except for the aim points, and then all the enclosed ones should follow the aim point footprint. Anyways,
is that what the Hollow Sun enclosed are? Is aim point?
I think so. I think they all follow the acro footprint. I could be wrong on that one because I feel like I saw one optic, but I can't remember what company it was, that they basically like put the screws already in, and then you like tighten them from the side, and then like through magic it like goes into the gun and locks in. But I could be wrong. Or it could just be witchcraft from SHOT Show that never actually made it to market.
Yeah. All right. Do you? This was a thing we had either last week or the week before, but I found it amazing. And after the rifle match today, it was actually a little more apropos that we had it in here for this week. Do you do malfunction training? Of course I do, because I'll get killed in the streets if I don't practice clearing a double feed and tap, rack, bang, and bap, dap, dap, deeper, deeper, do.
I have never done malfunction training since I stopped being a tactard.
I did once when I took the NRA basic pistol instructor course. That was the only time I did it.
I did like pistol one.
Here, I guess I do malfunction training just in the natural course of training, because sooner or later my hand loads gack up the gun, and then I got something to fix. But like, I'm not. It's just sort of the path I took. I mostly got to pistols through the competition route. I started off as your average pistol owner, and then very soon after found competition. So that's been my orientation ever since. But I shot Area 3 with a buddy who's a cop. We rode down there and shared a hotel, and he was shooting PCC, and his bolt died. And it turned into a single shot. And watching him finish that stage, he religiously, it was tap, rack, bang every single time. And then he'd try to shoot again, tap, rack, bang. And I almost never tap. I never tap.
I never do either.
I just rack, bang.
Right. And I actually, because like I've done like the pistol 1, pistol 2 classes before I was in competition, and like they're like, oh yeah, you tap rack as just like a go-to, and then like observe what happens. But like so there's two parts to it. One is that like inspect what happens, like, because tap rack solves 70% of problems, but it also can like make problems worse or like do nothing to help you in the situation. So like observe what happens. But the second part of it is like, me and you shoot so much that, do you ever just feel the malfunction? Like you don't even know it, but you feel it.
Oh, I actually had that. It's funny you say that. I had that happen a couple weeks ago. I felt my slide not close.
Yep.
I didn't even see it. I just knew it didn't, and I hit it in the back, and that was it.
Yep.
And went back and finished the drill.
Yep. I've had several, actually like one of my most popular YouTube shorts, it has this malfunction where I didn't fully insert the magazine, and like I went bang, click, and then I racked it, and I knew I felt that there wasn't the proper amount of like resistance. And so I immediately pushed the mag in and re-racked it and went back to work, because like I just felt it. Like I knew how much like resistance there should be, because I've racked that slide with a round in it 1,000 times. And I just felt it. Kind of like Liam Neeson and Taken, where he's like, you have forgotten what a loaded gun feels like. And it's like, we pick up a gun, we're like, this gun,
this one's loaded.
Right. Or we're like, this one's like half loaded. Like
this one has 8 rounds.
Yeah. Like we deal with firearms so much that the malfunction training has happened to us through, like you said, good, like just the amount of training we've done.
Kind of by osmosis, honestly.
Right. B, like we're just so quickly at diagnosing the gun because we handle it so often, and we can look at it and go and feel like, oh, that slide reciprocated weird. Like that means something is wrong. Or there's a shell hanging out of the ejection port. That's not tap rack bang.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different.
I don't like, as we're talking about this, we're very much in agreement, which makes for kind of a boring topic, but I am going to say this. I don't think it's wrong to tap, rack, and bang. I don't think it's wrong to tap. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. In fact, if you're newer to the sport or to shooting pistols in general, I think you probably should.
I think there's an overemphasis on its training necessity and merit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're literally in a gunfight, like it would probably behoove me to do some tap, rack, bang at some point in my life, because the only time I ever tap is when I realize, oh, the magazine is not seated.
Right.
And it so rarely happens to me, though, because if shooting a Glock with 24 rounds in it, if I pick it up and it's not seated all the way, it pretty much falls out of the gun immediately. As soon as I lift it up. Ask me how I know.
Yeah. And another part of it is that like modern firearms are worlds above in reliability than people are used to.
Say, hold on. After today, I want to say modern pistols.
Yes, sorry. Modern pistols. Yes, 100%.
Is a different animal. Rifles, tap that bitch before you rack.
and then yank it and give it a yank. But to finish off the pistol thing, is they're so reliable that I feel like most people could spend the limited training time they have better by focusing on firearms handling and fundamental marksmanship. And malfunction training by itself, I don't find a lot of value in. I believe that newbies should be taken through the process and be like, hey, this is what a double feed is.
Learn to deal with it, yeah.
Right. But the amount of like concealed carry dudes who are like, oh, here's my like pack of 15 like snap caps, and I blind load them into my mag so that I can tap rack whenever. It's like, bro, you're just anticipating them the whole time anyways. Like, you're not really accomplishing the task versus like on the timer.
Unless someone does it for you. And honestly, if you put, I would, like, if it was like just like a duty 17 round Glock mag, I would find more use in it if there was only like 2 in there, maybe 3. because then it's truly, and someone else loads it for you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't, like, if I feel it. The other thing I could do, I suppose, or one could do is, because, like, I made my own dummy rounds for dry fire, like bullet case, no powder, no primer.
Yep.
And I always, my dry fire bullets, by the way, are, I buy the red Acme coated bullets, and I never load or shoot those. I don't shoot a red bullet. So if it's red, it's good to go. If it's anything else, that's hot. So I don't mess with it.
So don't buy Syntec.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't have Syntec in my house. But the I suppose you could load your own if you just got a handful and don't look. Because I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a loaded one with powder and primer and one without.
Yeah.
You know, you could load them unless, I don't know, if you got 115 rounders for dry fire and you got 147s. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So we shot a rifle match.
Yes.
Today. Hit Factor rifle match.
Yes.
And I had a lot of fun shooting a Hit Factor rifle match. The number one thing I was curious about, just as far as a match management thing, was, is it going to be slow like I was bitching about the 2-gun rifle pistol Hit Factor that I did?
Right.
It was not. It was not the rifle that made it that way. It was the fact that it was staging 2 guns. Being 1 gun, unload and show clear is slower with rifles or PCCs, just by their nature, a little bit, but not a lot.
And you tend to be shooting, like, you tend to have to look at a stage like you're shooting 2 whole stages, because the stage tends to be longer. Because you've got like 15 seconds of rifle targets, and then you've got to dump the gun and then draw the gun, so that's another 5 seconds, and then you got 15 seconds of pistol shooting. You're like, oh, well, that's a 30 to 40 second stage just by itself. And then the whole unload show clear process, it's like, yeah, it's just stacking on top of itself.
Yeah, I think the longest stage time-wise was the one in Bay 5, obviously, and that was the best times were around 28, 29.
Yep.
On that, and everybody else was, 40s or higher, but because you shot it in 29 and change.
Yep.
And I was like 30 or 31.
I think you're
31 stands out. So on the way back from Omaha, though, I was writing down, I thought it would be fun to kind of go through like hits and misses, the good and the bad of the match. And I honestly, all I came up with were hits. I only came up with 1 miss, honestly. So I'll do that first.
Okay.
The only thing that, and this is, you and everybody will mock me because I'm gonna go there. It was, overall it wasn't that bad, but there was one stage that had a really unfair shot for a left-hander, and it wasn't a big deal for righties.
Yeah, and that I know because we talked about it.
I shot the wall twice.
Yes.
It was our first stage 1. The rest of it, even though I was having to go across the grain more than all the righties, that didn't bother me. That's just me being left-handed, and I'm used to that. But if there's a really hard leaning shot, because I was out of fault line, I was out of shooting area to stand in. That's what made it hard, and so I had to lean. Now I could have just held farther left, shot 2 Charlies, and it wouldn't have been I wouldn't have had 2 mics, but
the office should be present for every shooter. To make a reasonable shot.
It was a decidedly tougher stage for a lefty than a righty because of that shot. And I'm not saying don't put those in there. I'm saying if you got a tough lean for a righty, then have one for a lefty too. Just find a place in the stage to put it. Now I think that was an adapted classifier.
Yep.
Like
it's
someone
1904,
yeah,
I believe.
It was like I recognized it immediately. I think they just added a couple targets to it.
No, I think the targets were actually the same, but
was it all the
same? He had us run it twice. Was the difference?
Yeah, run it from left to right and then right to left, and
which
that
was
was
unfortunate for one of our new guys.
Yeah, it was because you ran it right to left twice.
Yep.
But
so that's 12 procedurals.
And of course, I was ROing him and had to tell him that, which was awesome. That was the only thing like just as a match, a competition, that was the only thing I thought was even remotely a miss. Like, and that's picky. I'm being nitpicky there, mostly because I'm left-handed and it completely screwed me.
Well, it's a reasonable conversation. We had 2 left-handed people on our squad.
Yeah.
I mean, we had at least one more left-handed person that signed up and did not participate.
And the other lefty on our squad, I think he didn't have any mics or anything on that stage, but I think he fired like 8 rounds at that target.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but hits though, the good stuff about it. They were basically, the thing that was fun was that they were pistol-based stages. You know, the longest shots on the 50-yard bay were about 40 yards, I would guess. 40, 45.
Yeah, 30 to 40, depending
Somewhere
on
in there.
where you took them from. Yeah.
And I took them from a little further back in the shooting area, so they were more like 40, 45-yard shots for me. But that was cool. I started to say, oh, it'd be cool to have a 100-yard shot, but then you got to deal with steel, and it's either like calling hits or going down and resetting it if it's at 100 yards, because you don't want paper at 100 yards. So, I mean, you can do a static steal and call hits, I think, if you had 1 or 2, but it didn't take away from the match, honestly. If you had a 100-yard bay over there that was easy to use, great, use it, throw up, a steel target, cool. But it didn't take away from the match. I didn't think that there wasn't a longer shot, because it was another thing I thought was good was that it was not hard, but it was not easy. Right. As I was looking at the scores, I was like, hold on, let me look again. Everybody in the top 10 had at least 1 penalty.
Oh, yeah. Basically, everyone walked away with penalties.
There was only one guy who had 1 penalty. Everybody else had 2 or 3 that was in the top 10. So it was, and I think most of them are no shoots on holdovers or hardcover misses, The target difficulty was actually pretty spot on. I thought.
That makes me happy to hear.
So that was cool. The single greatest thing, though. Wait, while I'm talking about that, this kind of goes with it. The close headbox targets, you got to have those. Holdover is a thing. Like, that's really getting tested. There were a couple of headbox targets on one stage that were basically a yard or 2 away.
They ate everybody's lunch.
Yeah, but there were some. It took some people some time, or they had some misses.
Yep.
On those, and the no shoots, none of them were stupid, but there was a couple where, like on stage 4, I was watching my video. I'm like, damn, why am I so slow on those last 2 targets? Oh, those were the 2 that had no shoots. I had to aim.
Yeah,
and
that was my intention on that one.
Yeah. But my favorite thing about the match, and this is a thing that could not happen in USPSA, is and even the way you guys did it was great. Mandatory reload on, I think, all but one stage.
Yeah, I think
our first stage there was not a mandatory reload.
Oh yeah. I guess there was a mandatory reload.
And
it was actually given as an option, and every stage designer took the option
because it's a great idea. It really is, because otherwise these were they were honestly pistol stages, just shot with a rifle. There was no steel, obviously, but pistol stages shot with a rifle, and I think that's super fun. But the way the mandatory reload worked was you must reload after the first shot and before the last shot. Anywhere you want to do it is cool. And so it really afforded you the option, people like options in stages. Anywhere you wanted to do it, you could do it. And so I had a couple of mildly unconventional stage plans, one of which worked out great, the other one not so well. But I was reloading those 2 times in a very different spot from everybody else. And it was, because with rifles, I went down there and didn't even bother. I did dry fire rifle, and I shot about 100 rounds or so on Friday. I did not practice a reload once, because I'm like, oh, it's a rifle match. We won't have to reload, because I'm either going to have a 35 or a 46 round magazine, so I won't have to reload.
Yep.
Guess what, Andy? You're gonna reload.
It's a skill set, and it's a skill set that rarely gets tested. And that rule works out perfect because instead of either having to make divisional changes,
like you can only have 10 rounds in your magazine.
Right. We basically were like, bring a rifle. Like people were like, can I do this? Do this? I said, I don't care. I was technically the match director, and I said, I don't care. Bring whatever optic you want. Bring whatever magazines you want. But this rule forced it. There was no reason to not use a 30-round magazine. But it also didn't make it so you had to make 47-round stages to force a reload.
That's what's stupid.
Right, because it stopped it from being just this hose fest of just stacks of 3 to 5 targets on each place, so that you got that round count up. Because it could just be one here, 2 here, 1 here, but you have to reload somewhere. And I really, really enjoyed that rule and how it made you have to think about stages, especially to reload a rifle, because you'd never have to reload a rifle because D60s exist.
Yeah. Like all the 3-gunners, even if there was a 47-round stage or a 48-round stage, they would just pull out their D60 and would have been like, okay.
Yeah. And they were asking us that, like, oh, so can I bring my D60? Can I bring my Surefire 100 or whatever beta mag, whatever?
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, bring them.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't see a single one used.
Nope. I saw a lot of 30-rounders. I
saw a couple 30-rounders.
Saw a couple 40-rounders. But yeah, that was. I'm very proud of that rule.
It was and even the way it was executed was just anywhere between first and last shot cannot be the last thing you do. There must be a shot before you reload, and it must be a shot after. One stage I just shot 6 rounds and reloaded. So I started that stage. I bet I was the only person who started a stage with a 20-round magazine in the gun.
I mean, I started with 8 rounds in my 30-round magazine, but yes, you were the only person rocking a 20-round mag, but that's probably the only 20-round mag that has ever been used at a ENGC multi-gun match ever.
Well, when you say used, probably a lot of... It was a thing I picked up from a guy from up here that shot 3-gun. Because most of the time you don't need a reload. Usually it's like, I'm shitting the bed on a long target and I just need a little more.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it was, instead of having this big 30-round flapping around in your back, it's just a 20-rounder. And he had like an extension on it so he could get like 23 or 4 in the magazine or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah. But I just had a 20-round Lancer. And so, and like when I shot Multi-Gun Nationals last year, I had that 20-round Lancer in my mag pouch. I didn't use it once because they did the rifle stages very, very reasonable. I think there was some that were over 30, but I had a 46 rounder, so didn't need it. But no, it was super fun. I highly recommend anybody do a rifle only match without the PCC. One thing I saw though that was comical, going back to the are you training your malfunctions? This wasn't a malfunction. No, it's not a malfunction. It's an operator error sort of thing. Is the number of magazines that fell out of rifles. Which, with an AR, it is a thing that happens. And there's the old dogma of, well, that's why we only put 28 rounds in the magazine. I always remove 1 round at least from a reload magazine.
I reload 2, or I take out the 2 just to.
You take out the 2, but only on the
most
reload
stages you don't
mag.
need more.
Right. But I only
did
do that
all
on
my
the
mags.
I don't do it with all of them. I don't do it with the first mag, like my load mag. Like I can take all the time in the world because that's what I'm starting the stage with. But if I'm reloading, like I've had it happen before where it doesn't seat all the way, and I learned my lesson. Like, if you just take a little of that tension off, it works great.
Right, and we saw a lot of people make that mistake, and several of them make it multiple times, which was kind of impressive. By the 3rd time your magazine has fallen out,
dude.
My favorite was the guy when we were walking by.
Yeah,
and
we just left Bay 4.
Yeah, and we were walking to Bay 5, and this dude like mag drops out as we're walking by. We're like, oh, that sucks. He like picks it up, sticks it back in, goes to shoulder it, it falls out again, and he was like, I just give up, and grabbed another mag from his belt. And I'm like, the pain I feel for you, good
Oh
sir.
God!
Because
It was his load mag. It was the mag to start the stage.
right until maybe he must have hit. I don't know because I downloaded 28 because I want to make sure it gets in there. But I also remember the key to a rifle reload is you jam it in and then give it a quick little yank because that'll tell you real freaking quickly if you've made a mistake or not.
Oh, yank on the magazine.
Yeah.
Sorry, at first I thought you were talking about the charging handle. No, if you give, I put it in hard.
Can I get just that part clipped out?
That is definitely one of the clips that will start the show, of course. Yes, that'll be a drop for the beginning of the show. I put it in hard. And I didn't even think of it that way until you said something. I had to be pointed out when I was being perverted.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's definitely a factor. You definitely have to make sure the mag is seated. I insert my magazine assertively so that
Right,
I know that it goes
and
in,
you
but
give
I
a quick
also download. I shouldn't say I never download more than that because there was a couple of times with my 20 rounder on the reload, I knew I was only shooting 6 rounds after that. On the last stage on Bay 5, I think I only had 10 rounds in the gun. No, I didn't have 10. I think I had 12 or 14, something like that. It was way less than 20 because I was not going to need more than 7 or 8 total to shoot. And I think I only fired the 6 rounds. I don't think I fired any makeups at any of those. So,
And that's good stage planning because we watched we probably had one on every stage that required a reload where someone jammed that mag in and then
fell out.
And it fell out. And yeah, it's painful to watch because they're like, let me try to fix it quickly, and so they just try to jam it back in there, and they don't give it a yank, and they're like, and it's like, if it's not working and that's the only mag you have, lock the bolt back and jam it in there and just let the charging handle go. That's the correction if it's not working. But when you're flustered onto the clock, you're like, oh no, and you just keep jamming it in, have it fall out, jam it in, fall it out, jam it, fall, and you're like, just stop.
I know a very good 3-gun shooter. He doesn't shoot anymore, but he used to. He plays a lot of golf now. But he had that happen to him at a big 3-gun match. I don't remember what. It was a big one down south somewhere. He puts, it was like an unloaded start once, he had to load off his belt when he went to the rifle, and he puts it in, Rex charging handle, and I think the first time it stripped the round off the top, and he fires, and then it fell out.
Oh no.
And then he picks it up, puts it in again, Rex charging handle, and right as it's going click, it falls out again. And that's like that guy we saw today, after when we were walking by. And I honestly, I saw there was a couple of the newer guys on our squad that it happened to him multiple times. And after a while, it just wasn't even funny anymore. It was just like, oh yeah, it fell out again.
Poor guys.
Poor guy.
You need to learn deload 2 rounds. It's to be safe. So would you like me to do the positives and negatives now?
Well, yours will be different, I would imagine, but yes. Because it's your home club too, and you were the match director.
I was technically
or
I was technically sort of in charge, but Lane Grease was the.
It was his baby.
It was his baby,
but
and
you had
to
deliver it. You were the doctor.
Right, I was like the shadow commissar. I liaison between him and the rest of the board and yada yada yada.
I love how you have obscure European military references for everything. It's awesome.
Correct. Lane would appreciate that. Yes. And so I built a stage, and most of the rules were discussed between me and Lane, but I had to set a few of the rules, and I was a point of contact. So if you run this match, and Andy got to realize this, and I'm just going to address it right now. Anything I say is what I say, and it's my opinion. It has no reflection on Andy. The 3-gunners in my club are extra toxic, and I don't know why, but they are. And so it made dealing with the personalities very difficult. And I had to set my foot down on very weird things. Like, we allowed suppressors, but if you didn't have the time picked up, it counted as a 0 because I didn't want a bunch of reshoots. I got pushback from that because reasons. It's also the same rule they use in their own multi-gun system.
DOML
but they still
rules.
wanted to push back against me. And so that made it frustrating. Another one of the negatives is it's a negative positive, is that you will get a lot of people to come to that match.
Every time Dick and Harry with an AR is like, ooh.
Right. And they think that they're the next John Wick, or they had 1 month of Marine Corps training or police academy training, and they're the God's gift to the planet.
Our squad didn't have any of the like the noobs on our squad pretty much were like, I'm a noob.
Right.
And acted accordingly. Like we had all of the noobs were cool on our squad.
Right, but we also had 4 noobs, I think.
Yeah, we
on
didn't
a
have
squad
many.
of 10.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so as a match director, be prepared. Like, you have to have the match staff prepared to deal with them and to be able to fill the squads. So like,
and out of 10, we had 4 pretty experienced people to like run a timer or a tablet.
correct. Yeah. And so that was super helpful because I mean, you do have to kind of babysit them and make sure that they're doing the right things and this and that and the other. So like, if you want to put this match on, and I support it, I think it was a fun concept. Be prepared for everyone and their mother to show up, and the rules are going to be weird, and the things are going to be a little sketchy your first time because they just are.
Well, and like I'm talking about it purely as like this is one of the first matches I've had absolutely zero to do with in a long time.
Right.
Like in the putting it on. Like I showed up 20 minutes before shooting started pretty much because I drove down from Sioux Falls this morning. And so it was, I mean, everything was pretty much done by the time I got there. You and Lane and a couple of the other guys from the club were kind of running around a little bit, but for the most part, everything was done. And like, as someone who showed up and shot it though, like, I mean, it was a 95% home run. I thought like it was.
Yeah, and
I mean, and stages weren't perfect, but they're never perfect. You know.
Oh no, and like honestly, I would gladly take 2 of the stages and put them at our next USPSA match.
Oh hell yeah!
And in a heartbeat. And the other ones, just a little modification. They would have been fine USPSA stages. No, I support the match as a concept. I just, from a match management perspective, it was not the most fun thing in the world. And like our wonderful like tablet guy about had a heart attack because he synced the nooks, had a guy show up, and he's like, okay, resyncs the nook. And the second he resynced them, another guy walked up and was like, hey, I forgot to check in. And he about had a heart attack. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh, so he had paid and signed up, just hadn't checked in?
Yes.
So you guys do that
he showed up late.
I don't mess with like the last thing that happens is tablets. Like shooters meeting happens, then I go sync tablets.
That's what we were doing.
They
this guy showed up
that
after.
late? Oh,
yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
dude, you're too late.
Yeah, and like it was about to be that.
I probably would have let him shoot. I know Robert at the other club up here, he would have been sorry. He put his foot down because he kept getting screwed on that, and there's a lot more people at that match too, and I was 100%. I mean, it wasn't as big a deal for me, but it's a bigger deal because they have to like go to a spot to get internet, whereas internet's kind of most places at our range. So
right, it definitely threw that off. But like stage wise, I was generally happy with the stages.
Yep.
I found I liked the rule set. The safety stuff got me a little like coming from USPSA, like 3 gunners and tactical dudes and police guys with rifles. We have different perspectives on things. Like muzzle up to me means like muzzle above my head, and like I put my stock on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And like my gun is 10 feet in the air.
Your muzzle is, yeah.
Yeah, and then I have guys that are like carrying their muzzle like by their hip and like dragging the rifle on the ground like it's their little teddy bear and they're a toddler. And I'm like,
yeah, that was.
Why do you think that's a good idea? Like that's not muzzle up.
Like, it's very simple. Just hold it by the pistol grip.
Right.
And there's only one way to do that safely, and that is to have it hold the pistol grip shoulder high with your arm bent all the way.
And so that was the one that like made me kind of like turn my head. And one other little like back door thing or back room thing is like
backdoor
practice. Exactly. The practice score kind of was being really weird on us and like it had issues. We had to put in a bug report because it was like it changed us all to major power factor and like moved us around our wonderful tablet guy Terry had to go back through and turn everyone just into open minor, and it solved the problem. But it was just like one of those weird like of course of course we can't have everything work.
But it was super fun. I did not beat you. Here's observation from I didn't realize I hadn't actually. We talk all the time, literally more than weekly now, pretty much doing the show. We text all the time. I like when we first just got online tonight. I was like, "When's the last time I saw you in person?" And I don't think it was even Iowa because I shot Saturday and we bailed right away. I don't think I saw you there.
It would have to be like seeing in person. It would have to be Area 3.
Either Area 3. Oh yeah, I would have seen you at Area 3 when I was ROing. Yep.
But like hanging out wise, I mean, Cornhusker in June, maybe?
Yeah, that was the last time we hung out. So here's the thing. I teased Jeff before the show that I noticed something about him today. Because you've been, posting all these videos, and some of them are like reposted old videos or they're just old videos. So like that, all of your videos is pretty much the Jeff I had in my head. And then I saw you today and I'm like, dude's been like slimming down a little bit. Dude looks a little more jacked than the last time I saw him. Like, you got like strongman veins popping in your arms and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and you were quick. Like on your feet. You were way quicker than the last time I saw you shoot. For sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of the old videos you've been reposting because you haven't shot much in the last, several months.
Yeah.
No, like I was, and you got what, second or third today? Third. Behind a really quick 3-gunner dude who's fast on his feet and a very fast shooter, and Lane.
Yep.
Who got first.
Yep. And I was 6% behind them, which made me super happy. I was but thank you. No, I really appreciate that. I've been working. I go to a trainer. I also run a martial arts gym for those who don't remember that part.
Yeah. So you are literally exercising at work every day.
Yeah. I walk somewhere between 10 and 18,000 steps a day. And that's just like, that's literally every day of the week now. And then I spar and I work with my trainers 3 times a week. I take testosterone. I'm just going to throw that one out there. Like, do PEDs. That they work. They're fun. But yeah, no. I go to an athletic trainer. I have a problem with my back, and so they've been helping me with that. And I was like, hey, this is a sport I do. This is what I want to do. And the dude's like, okay, cool. Like, we'll work with you. And so we do a lot of leg stuff. We do a lot of explosive stuff. And it's fun to hear that it's actually like starting to make a difference.
Oh, dude, like it was obvious. The explosive work. I've done workouts like that like 27 years ago. I did a program called Acceleration. And like that was the only time in my life I was fast. And even for my size, like I overheard people go, was that Andy crossing home plate? We're playing softball. And like, holy shit. Like, no, it was the stage I noticed it the most on was, 2 of the stages. Oh, God. No, actually, it was stage 5 is where I really noticed it because when you ran from the back left corner forward, like, I mean, first off, you did it with like 3 steps because you're 90 feet tall, but
correct.
But it was like you just looked light on your feet. It was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I did not beat Jeff at this match, but I did beat Steven.
Poor Steven.
Poor Steven. Yes.
Someone has to do their malfunction training from what I
Well,
heard.
yeah, malfunction. He had a double feed, so how long that took. I mean, I beat him on a couple of stages, like, because stage 4 is where he had the big malfunction, and I was like, oh, I didn't kick his ass that bad. He had a gun die, for sure. So, but I beat him. Actually, he beat both of us on stage 1 pretty handily, and then we were about dead even on 2. Oh, yeah, he probably beats me without that, so, okay.
But we got
misreading
our weekly Steven mention
But
in there.
I got to, yeah, Steven still hasn't beaten me since Area 3.
Hear that, Steven? You going off to a tropical island for several months.
Yes.
But you ain't going to beat Andy.
Not for several months. No, he'll do that afterwards. I felt really slow. First off, I'm stronger than I was last year, but I'm fatter than I was last year, and I have this knee thing going on right now. And I thought I was going full bore. I thought I was doing okay quickness wise, and then I saw the videos. And I'm like, oh shit, that is like, I'm not fast on my feet as it is, but that was significantly slower than I normally am, and it was only on the last stage where I was really confident that I wasn't going to hurt myself running around, and you could tell I was running better on that stage, and it was it was a little tender afterwards, but it's fine now.
Injuries, like people underestimate, like injuries give you like a secondary, like, oh, can I do that? Oh,
Yeah.
well, take 10% off, take 20% off, like,
And it's
no matter-
completely subconscious. That's the weird
Yeah.
thing. I didn't
Right.
consciously slow down.
Right. No, it was your body going, hey, let's take that step just
Yeah.
a little bit slower
We're
and
not
more
gonna-
sure-footed.
No, I shot like I did before I realized, oh, you got to go 100% all the time. You know,
Right.
Like, there comes a point when you're a competitive shooter where you understand, oh, I have to move my feet at 100% all the time, or it will cost me lots of time. So,
Yep.
yeah. The next thing in here, you slipped that in. That was Lane posted something about that. I saw after the match.
Yeah.
And very apropos. Rifle versus pistol training. Does it matter? I think only if you're shooting a match. If you train pistol a lot, I don't think it's a big deal. But if you're going to be shooting a match with a rifle, there's some amount of training you need to do, because otherwise you're going to screw yourself like I did with reloads today.
So the reloads I agree with. The one I was actually going to mention was the confidence in your dot and your holdovers.
Yeah.
Because watching my videos, I'm like watching my transition and going, "Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you shooting?" I feel like I left 10% on the plate just off of like put dot on target and going, "Yeah, that seems fine." Bang bang. Yeah, that seems fine. Bang bang. Where it's like pistol wise, that would have been. I mean, would have been like 3/4 of the time, and so I think there are familiarization stuff that you need to do between, just like we were talking earlier about, like switching between pistols and red dots and all that stuff. There's a familiarization that you need to do, but like training with a pistol, if you're good with a pistol, you will be good with a rifle. It, like, no doubt
You'll
in my
be
mind.
good with a rifle, but you won't be as good.
I disagree.
I do disagree, because here's the thing. Because the thing I was I even like the rifle I shot today, I had a A2 birdcage on it, and I put a comp on it, like a 3-gun comp on it.
Yep.
And that helps a ton, because this is just like a basic, relatively lightweight 16-inch build that I have.
Right.
And it helps a lot, but there is something about when we're shooting pistols, we know exactly how that gun's going to behave. Exactly. Yeah. With the rifle, I don't know exactly how it's behaving. I did not have... There were targets I would have just gone whap whap with a pistol that I went bang bang with a rifle. not a ton, but there was a fair number that I treated differently. I just didn't have the confidence to do it. Like there was one stage that had a relatively close tuxedo. It wasn't super far away, and I just did not have the like with a pistol. I would have just been like bang bang, because it wasn't that far. It was like between 5 and 7 yards, and I would have just gone like wham wham. But with the rifle, I did not have the confidence to do that.
Right, and I think that familiarization could be done with some doubles or like
but
it'll take you a shorter amount of work to get like that confidence with a rifle after you've gotten good with a pistol. And getting good with a pistol, like I'm just to put it into context, I found some videos on my phone. The last time I shot my rifle was in November, when me and Lane were screwing around. We call it tactical abomination training because that's how serious we take it. It's literally the same things we do with pistols, but the no shoots are higher up, and like that's the full difference. We tried to do tactical drills one time, and by the time we got out to like 25 yards and we were still beating the like times, we were like, okay, well, apparently we're too good for this. Mm-hmm. And so we like. I have not dry fired. I have not. Excuse me. I'm not dry fired. I've not like sat there and grouped my rifle in months, if not, well, grouping it I haven't done in years.
You also hadn't changed your battery on your birthday, apparently.
I had not changed the battery.
That you were preaching to everybody on the show a couple weeks ago, like, change your batteries on your birthday or you're stupid.
Yeah, your pistol ones, not your rifle ones, because those ones never die, apparently, or something. Okay. I don't know. No.
Yeah, the pistol dots never die. The rifle ones go dead in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, I also only turn it on like twice a year, so I mean that battery could be older than some people's children for all I know.
Yeah.
Like I bought that gun in like 2015 or 2016, so like that battery might have been from then. I'm just saying that like the amount of rifle training people do, I think they overemphasize how much you need to do, especially if you're a good pistol shooter, because like, to put in context, I shot 96%, I think, or 94, something like that, of Lane, who does a little more rifle training than I do, but not that much more. And
94%.
94. And so I beat cops, I beat three gunners, I beat tactical dudes. I beat a dude who had been doing some training, who had been doing some stuff in Africa, apparently. Like, he didn't go too much more into it. Super nice guy. Just go do USPSA. Go do practical pistol shooting. It's easier to do. It's easier to get into. It's cheaper to do. It's cheaper to do. Like, do pistol dry fire. And then when you pick up a rifle, you're going to be like, this is easy mode. Like, this is like cheating.
Yeah, there's a few things that need to adapt that you got to kind of just, like you said, if you shoot some doubles or do some like transitions doubles, you know, like just bang, 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 like spread some targets out, do some close transitions, do some wide ones. That was one thing the only thing I was confident in today shooting the rifle was the transitions. My transitions were pretty good, but it was the behavior after the first shot of the gun that I didn't trust. You know, like my dot was relatively landing where I wanted it to, and the first shot was right away, and then the second one I'm like, yeah, confirm, bang. You know, I just was a little hesitant. And there were a few close hosey targets, and there were some targets that weren't super far, but they were partialed up a little bit and made it a little tougher. But I do think that, you know, if you're a dude who like shot the IPSC rifle match and that's your thing and that's what you're training for, like, yeah, it would matter. 100%. It would be better to train with a rifle way more than a pistol. If that's your thing.
If you're competing at the highest levels.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if there was a rifle sport like USPSA pistol matches that was as popular and you could do as much, then 100% yes. But when it's just sort of occasional, yeah, we have this club match where we shoot rifles. No, I don't think you need to like commit a bunch of extra time and money to training with the rifle.
Or if you're a cop, like, who's going to do, if they need a firearm, it's probably going to be a pistol.
Well, and
commit to more time to do because the skills will transfer.
I would love to pick the brain of like what distance would be the most useful to train the most for a cop with an AR?
30 yards and in.
No, I know, but like, because it's not like they're doing like bang, 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 bang. You know, it's usually one guy most of the time.
Yep.
You know, it could be more, but most of the time it's going to be one subject. And you've seen all kinds of videos from, you know, there was a guy that had, like, he set his coffee mug down in the back end of the car, pulled his rifle out.
17-yard shot. Yeah.
And he,
like, that one's super impressive.
Yeah, he was very cool, calm, and collected. Like, he obviously practiced pretty much that and everything in between. But, and most of the time, are they going to need to shoot at the speed that we are? No. If they're trained to shoot at that speed, the long single shots are going to be way easier. But, but no, I mean, there's certain aspects that are, you know, would be worth training more at times, you know, especially if you needed both. But, and like if I was a 3-gunner, I would practice about, I would do the opposite. Well, most 3-gunners, I don't think practice all that much, but some do. And if I was a hardcore 3-gunner, I would practice 70% pistol, 20% rifle, 25% rifle, and 5% shotgun.
Ooh, we were exactly the same on the pistol amount, and then I would just flip the shotgun and rifle. But I will say, my brain is going to like the rifle match we shot today, and now that I say it, I'm like, oh wait, no, they shoot out to like 800 yards. Like that is something you actually have to practice.
Yeah. There's, but the longest shot I've ever taken in a 3-gun match was 370 yards. And I haven't shot as many matches like that, and that's in Forest Lake.
Yeah, we shot on the 600 one time, and so
okay. That takes practice for sure, especially with a 5.56.
See, and that's one of those. I just put my cheap dot on the thing and had steel case ammo and just kept pulling the trigger until they said hit, and I think there's like 6 shots, and so I have hit a 600-yard gong with an AR with a red dot with steel case ammunition, and I am very proud of that.
That's one thing I kicked myself for last year. I was too scared to shoot because I knew there was going to be one long range stage at Multi-Gun Nats last year, and I was like, damn it, I'm gonna shoot the LPVO.
Yep.
And it's the Vortex PSTG Viper 1-6 or whatever. It's a very good, not super expensive one of those, and it's got a daylight bright dot. In hindsight, I wish I would have just practiced with my Hollow Sun 510 out to 400 yards, because I knew it would be under 400 yards, because that's the longest range they have there.
Right.
And if I had just practiced that, because there was literally one target at that distance, the rest were 200 and in, and I was shooting steel. I hit 6 out of 10 at 200 yards standing freehand out at the gun club on Friday.
Oh wow!
On like an IPSC plate,
awesome.
like a full size IPSC AC zone, and so like the rest of it, and it's way faster to have a dot than an LPVO. It just is. I don't know if it's necessarily faster, but you lose something with the LPVO when it comes to close fast shooting. You can't see if you're right-handed, you can't see to the right of your rifle as well. There's going to be a gap where the target disappears transitioning to your strong side. And I hate that. I hate it so much. I would have preferred, because even if you have a magnifier on there, well, when you're transitioning to your strong side, you're still losing it behind the magnifier, you know?
Yeah, I took my magnifier off because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this magnifier in case I have to take a long shot, and then I've never used it.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, if you're going to have multiple long shots, and I heard one thing, I can't remember what podcast it was. It might have been Vortex's podcast. They were talking about, oh yeah, it was. It was when, this was a few years ago, Adam Maxwell was on there talking about like 3-gun and optics for 3-gun and just optics in general. And something he said that was really interesting, I'd kind of observed on my own, but hadn't really formulated it the way he said it, was if you crank a scope all the way up to its maximum magnification, even though like if it's especially a second focal plane scope, that's where the reticle is what it's designed for. But you're getting like the dimmest, worst image in the scope at max power. And so buy the scope for the magnification that will be good, and then go up from there. So if the magnification you think you really need is like 6x, then get like a 9 or a 10. If you need to have like 14, get like a 20.
Okay. So okay.
You
That
know
makes
how when
sense.
even a good scope, a really nice one, you zoom it in all the way, it gets kind of dim and dark at
Yeah,
max.
well, yeah, it's like power factors in a lot of things. Like you don't want an engine to run at 100%.
Right.
It'll break, and so that makes perfect sense. So you'd want a scope that
And it was like-
can go that far.
It was like one of the things it was like I knew it without knowing it. And when I heard him say it, I was like, of course, stupid. Just overbuy, then you have what you want and it'll be better, you know? And yeah, just sometimes you know stuff you don't even know you know. But now we know they know. You know.
I'm not drunk enough for that.
Okay, me either. So I live in South Dakota, and our state is in the middle, like our state government, the Department of Game, Fish, and Parks. Most people it's called Game and Fish. What do they call it in Nebraska? Do you know?
Game and Parks.
Game and Parks. Like, I think Minnesota is DNR. Our Game and Fish and Camping Department is building a gigantic new range out on the western side of the state, north of Rapid City, on a road with the word elk in it, and I don't remember the name of it, and I typed it wrong on Instagram the other day, so I'm not going to say it. If you go to the Watiki Indoor Water Park, it's 11 miles north of I-90. I know, because I was there with my kids last weekend. So this facility is enormous. It is on, oh, damn it, I meant to have OnX up so I could say how many acres it's on. Oh, sweet, I did already. That was the last place I went. That's good. It is on 400 acres of land. At least that's the parcel that GFP owns. I drove out there and took some pictures. It's on my Instagram. I posted photos last weekend. I don't remember what day it was. I think around Friday or so. Friday or Saturday this past weekend, I think I posted photos. It's just all black dirt right now. They just started moving the dirt for it. I got a text from Bruce, though. He lives out there and said they just moved all the machinery to the other side, and they're starting work on that side. So what this place is going to have, it's going to be like Cameo big. There's, I think, a total of 28 bays, but they're not all like pistol bays. The front half has like, I don't remember how many, but bays ranging in length from 50 to 300 yards. So pretty large. And then on the backside, the training competition bays, there's another like 17 back there. So I think there's 10 or 11 in the front and then like 17 or 18 in the back. So like the public can access anything in the front at any time, and then the back stuff is strictly for matches and training classes, law enforcement, so on and so forth.
Yep.
And then there's also a 1,200-yard rifle range. In addition to that, it would easily host a USPSA Nationals when it's completed, and once all of the infrastructure is in there, it is a state thing that they've taken a lot of donations for, and they're selling sponsorships to help fund everything. But it would easily handle a Nationals for sure. What were you gonna say?
So when you talk about infrastructure, what will the like hotel situation be?
Well, remember that water park I mentioned?
Yes.
Well, there are 4 hotels attached to that water park that are
Okay.
large. Literally, I don't know how many hotel rooms. The Black Hills of South Dakota, for people listening, if you've never been to South Dakota, it's like flyover country. It's like, hey, yeah, our plane goes over that when we have to go to Minneapolis for work or whatever. Okay, Mount Rushmore is in the Black Hills. Mount Rushmore is about a 45-minute drive from where this range is going to be. There's a shitload of hotels all over the place. Rapid City is loaded with hotels. The one time a big match will never happen will be early August, because that's when the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is happening. A hotel room will run you $400 to $500 during that week, even if it's in a shithole. So there won't ever be a match in in early August for sure. But no, there's literally thousands and thousands of hotel rooms in Rapid City.
That's good to know.
And the best part, there's a ton, just like the closest interstate has, and I mean, there's 4 connected to that water park. I think there's another 2 at that exit. 3 others that I know of at that exit. There's a ton of hotels within 11 miles.
Staying down in Florida, I stay that one was weird. Like Frostproof is meh on its accommodations, and then Cameo was fine. I've been to that one, and it's you're on the it's a podunk little town. I don't know that it could have supported a national size event. And then CMP, it's you got to stay kind of far away from that one to stay anywhere worth staying. So that's why I was asking, because they always tend to build these super nice ranges, and then they're like, why does no one come here? And you're like, y'all have
it's
no
forever
hotels.
away. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing, though. If there's a big match at this place, it's going to be probably, aside from St. George, I've never been down there, but there's lots to do around there. I mean, Vegas is a couple hours away, and then you got Zion and all the national parks there. But there's so much out in the Black Hills, tourist-wise, that it would be a great place for the family to go. So if you had a wife and kids, they would be very, very content to go with you and hang out and do their thing while you're at the match. It's
97 miles from my dad.
Oh, really? Yeah. And you can just drive back to your dad's house every night, then that'll be fine. I mean, you did that for Great Plains the first year. You drove an hour and a half down to Sioux City for a hotel room because there was a softball tournament in Sioux Falls.
Yep. And I was the only person in that. And I always tend to do that. But yeah, I was the only person in that hotel who was not part of the softball. Mm-hmm. I checked in, they go, you're not part of the softball teams, are you? I go, no. And they're like, you're the only one. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not ominous. But yes, I also did that. I went to a match in Wisconsin that Stager put on, the Wisconsin section. And one of my buddies was like, oh, I live in that area. And I'm like, oh, cool. Then I'll just stay with you. Didn't even check it. He was an hour and a half past the range.
Oh.
So went to his house, hung out, came back, did walkthroughs for an hour, went back to his house, and then had to leave his house 6:30 in the morning to get there on time. And I was like, it was great to see him. I finally got to meet his wife. It was a net positive trip, but my distance of accommodation was not a positive factor.
Yeah. I got the map of the facility, the final master plan. There are 28 ranges that are bay shaped. Whether or not all of them would be used, and one of them, I'm not sure what that is. What is K? Oh, a versatile training bay. This thing looks like it's about 300 yards long, so it could certainly handle some sort of stage in there, if it was needed. But there's a ton of the stuff that's on the backside that's not open to the public. Those are just wide open bays. The stuff that's on the public side, those are going to have your baffles and target stands and more of that kind of stuff. So it could certainly be used for a match, but it would require working around some of that a little bit. And some of those are longer ranges, 300 yards. So, you could certainly put a pistol stage in there. It's just going to, having to walk down if it was needed. But it's big. It's going to be very, very cool. I'm very excited, especially since it's in my state. The other thing that's interesting too, about this facility is, from what I've heard, is that if there are large events, Now if it's something that's shutting down the entire facility and keeping it from the people being able to use it, I would imagine there would want to be some sort of compensation for that, some sort of, thing. But at the same time, though, what I last heard was if there is a large event there, they're not looking for compensation to host a large event. They look at all the tax dollars spent on hotel and food and meals and that sort of thing as the payment. They have 500-600 people come for an event. Like, yeah, okay, we got paid. Tax dollars came to the state.
Oh,
like,
that's nice. And hopefully their governor doesn't screw them over like Colorado did.
No, Kristi Noem's not gonna. No, Colorado. No. This is not Colorado. We're about as red of a state as they come. I think we have 5 Democratic legislators, and they're all from Sioux Falls or a college town, pretty much.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, we're as gun-friendly a state as there can be. There's not going to be any of this cameo nonsense. As far as the rest of the infrastructure, having internet all over the facility, I have no idea what all of those plans are. I know certainly on the regular public side there would be. I don't know about the back side because there is a bit of a divide between the two sides, but it's going to be cool. If you just Google South Dakota shooting complex, you'll find it. Look at the diagram for it. It'll be very cool when that gets done. The dirt pushing is about half done. They're expecting to open in August of this year. So, they've had some hiccups along the way, but it's rolling right along now. So, very, 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 very excited. Okay. Next thing in the rundown, motivation to train, Jeff. What's that about?
Spite.
I said this to Jeff after last week's show. We got to do T-shirts.
T-shirts and patches.
T-shirts and patches. Training out of spite. Yeah, we gotta do those. I think we can make it like $8 out of that for sure.
I already know someone who I can sell it to, but
yeah, and I know someone who can make the shirts too. MW Activewear.
Hell yeah.
Go to my Instagram, which is andy.e.605, and you can see the snazzy Howler Monkey District 3 shirt that I posted on there with music from the Hunger Games and a local gal who I think listened to me on the radio when I was on there. That's how she found my Instagram account. Was like, oh, I thought this was like merch for the Hunger Games for a second until she noticed the pistols that were on the logo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. Yeah, so
have you been motivated to train?
I have been. My problem has been time. I've been dry firing. That I have been doing. Now, it feels like I'm behind the curve training wise for the year, but I'm not because there should be 30 inches of snow in my yard, and there's not. So I feel like I'm not doing what I should be just because the weather's been good. But like according to my normal ammo expenditure and like training, I don't have like a training calendar, but like when I start live fire training is pretty much usually April when I can count on the weather being good enough to actually go and get a live fire session in once every 2 weeks.
Right.
Is pretty much how I do it. And which is in addition to shooting in classes. I might, if I've got classes, then sometimes I do a little more, but when I just have those opportunities. But I feel like I'm behind, but I don't think I am. I think I'm pretty much on track for normal, like mostly dry fire right now. And then once the weather's better, then I do more live fire. You know, but
that makes sense.
I know you have no motivation to train, and like you looked better than the last time I watched you shoot today. And turns out you're doing physical training though, so you are training.
Right.
You're training at stuff that makes you better at the sport. So don't tell me you're not training. Ass.
But I'm right. I haven't been dry firing. That's why my reloads are trash and my transitions are trash and everything's trash. But but no,
the movement wasn't trash.
No, that's getting better. Well, and like one of the parts for me is, like you said, it's it's March 3rd. I mean, I should be frozen in like a onesie, eating cookies and watching a movie.
Yeah, it should have been 3 months or 4 months since you were last at the range outdoors.
Right, and not 74 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, it was over 70 today shooting that match. It was nuts.
Right, I showed up in a sweatshirt and had to take it off within 5 minutes of getting there. That's how nice it was.
I wore my jacket up until I shot the first stage. I never put it back on.
Yep. Yeah, and so I'm there with you, but another level to it. And like when I say I train out of spite, like I'm not actually lying when I say that. Like I'm a spiteful human being. I am. I needed someone to go after, and I don't have that person anymore because I passed them.
Yeah.
And for me, like I've accepted I'm probably not catching Lane. The last few matches have made me actually question that theory.
I don't think you should never not shoot for the next guy up the ladder.
Right. I also,
because even if you miss, you're going to get better.
Right. I don't disagree with you, but like,
plus you're younger than he is.
Right. I'm not on as much testosterone though. Maybe that's my problem. Anyways, Lane is a large human being, but very muscular with an excellent Dagestani beard. But he loves his Dagestani beard.
Is it just because he can't grow a mustache?
No, it's because
just too blonde.
He highly respects the Dagestani fighters in the UFC. And
okay,
that's their style.
Anytime I see somebody with a beard without the mustache, I just think it doesn't
Amish.
grow there.
Yeah, and so
which I mean, I couldn't grow a full goatee until I was like 25. So.
Oh yeah, I'm 32 and I'm trying to grow a beard and it's not working.
I like the 2 really random long 4-inch hairs you had off your right cheek today. That made me laugh.
Correct. Yes. I've got to maintain this shit at some point. But I also like I don't have like ill feelings towards Lane. Whereas like my last 2 guys, I'm like I want to beat you. Like and like people would text me if I didn't beat these people. Like people would be like, so I thought you wanted to beat them. I got like that.
I think
extra
I sent
push
you
from
one of
my
those
friend.
texts last year.
Oh yeah. And so it was like I finally beat these 2 people, and now I'm like, well, shit. What do I do? I don't know what to do with my hands now. And so like I don't have that like that fire, that like Rocky montage of going after Apollo Creed or anything like that. Like I don't know. Like I'm still in it for the love of the game, but my dry fire routine has definitely been lacking because I'm not super motivated. I'm also, running a gym. Fighting other human beings. I injure myself probably weekly at this point. Like I think I might have arthritis in my hand. I'm not 100% sure.
Probably do.
Right. It's been hurting a little bit lately. I kicked a dude's knee a week and a half ago.
Ow.
And like it was so bad. I thought it healed up on Friday, and one of my guys kicked me in the leg and I collapsed, and I was like, alrighty then, I'm done sparring today. So like there are those life things that kind of can suck that motivation away. And so I'm trying to refine that, like that fire that I don't know, like my match schedule is reducing this year just out of like making sure I don't burn out. Like some people are like, oh, I'm burning out, so let me go do more of it because that will make it better. And I'm like,
no, that's the wrong approach.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, don't double down. What you're going to do is you're going to keep doing you're going to do the things you want to do and choose to do, but don't push yourself into things like, oh, I have to do this, because that's what will burn you out truly. And so that's the battle I'm having right now, is finding that motivation to, my belt is 10 feet behind me and there's 2 guns sitting next to it that can go into it. Like I could dry fire after we're done here. I'm not going to, but I could. And so that's my struggle right now, is finding that motivation to train, because I lost that like easy, like, oh, that next guy I'm gaining 2% on. I'm gaining 2%. Oh, I gained the 5% and beat them. Cool. Now I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, sort of, I'm coming to grips with my mortality a little
It
bit.
sucks.
Dude, I turned 47 last week. So like am I 3 years away from senior?
I thought senior was 55.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. Thank you. Is super senior 65?
I think, and then there's like distinguished senior, which is like 70.
No, that's called old as balls. That's what that is. Part of it is like this knee injury. I was as healthy as I have ever been last year. I was battling my other knee the year before, and now this year, this knee has started to give me problems, and injuries are really, really frustrating because there's just nothing. They just have to heal. You can do the rehab and whatnot, but I still am just basically overall someone who is always wanting to learn and get better. And so if that means I'm just not running around while I'm dry firing as much and moving, that's fine. I can still get better at things, but the frustration though of an injury where you just know, like, if this knee wasn't, like today, watch my videos, I know I lost at least 5% because of my mobility, at least.
Yeah, and that's reasonable.
And it's not like, I'm not saying like, oh, I would totally beat you, Jeff, if I didn't have a bad knee. I'm not one of those dumbasses who's gonna like blame that. Like, no, I was on your squad. I watched you shoot. There's no way I was beating you today. But the not being able to shoot to my ability is really frustrating.
Right. It's a level of that it's really hard to overcome because there's that piece of your brain's like, I used to be able to do this. I know I can do this. Like, it's why I had to start going to a trainer.
Dude, most of my body still, because I'm fat, but I'm in shape fat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I exercise.
You're functionally strong.
Like my buddy Corey, who's a personal trainer, that's his business. I said, I work out to stay this fat. And he about had a aneurysm when I said that to him. Like, oh my God, dude. Like,
we're called the Bison Class. There's a guy on Instagram. He's going to be making shirts, but we're the Bison Class. We're not victim weight.
I actually had someone the other day say, "Have you lost weight?" I'm like, "No, actually, I weigh more than I did last summer, but I've put on a lot of muscle. I'm in better shape than I was a year ago."
Yeah.
But I just haven't really lost as much. I shouldn't say I haven't lost fat. I have not lost weight.
Right.
And I'm one of these people who the testosterone is probably lacking a little bit these days, but I was somebody who I looked at a dumbbell and I put on muscle mass.
Yeah,
whereas my brother takes after my grandfather, is kind of skinny, and he's got to work and diet, like eat 8,000 calories to put on a little bit of muscle.
Right. And I'm in the same boat with you, and so like it's definitely frustrating to like not see the weight go down, but to also know that you are getting better.
Yeah.
Because when I first started the sport, I was 225 pounds to 235 pounds.
I watched an old kickboxing video of you when you were like a baby.
Yeah. I weighed 215 pounds in that video.
You were so skinny.
It was so
crazy.
Little. Yeah. I now walk around at 305 to 308. I'd like to get about 20 pounds lighter.
No, you'd be rather svelte. If you were like 270, you'd be pretty damn lean.
Right, which to me is a crazy number because, I have pictures from high school when I was like 270, 280, but it was a chunky 280.
That was the thing I noticed about you today, though, was like you still had a little bit of a belly, but like that was it. You didn't have like giant love handles. You didn't have back fat. Your moves weren't dangling. They weren't moobs anymore. They were pecs. It was rather obvious. I was like, damn. Now I got another thing to chase Jeff over, is like being less fat. God damn it. But no, it's whatever it takes to motivate you, I guess, is all it takes. Like, I just want to be better at shooting. So I I'm at least going to do the shooty part. You know, if I'm not able to do the running around part and that hurts the. And I mean, I'm on the backside of my athletic abilities. Like, it's just going to get worse every year. I got to work my ass off to maintain.
But also at 46, you defeated several dozen very, very fit 20, 30, and 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
So like,
no, it's possible, but I got to work my ass off to do that.
Right.
And it's only going to get harder as I go.
Correct.
And
until
then
you take PEDs, and
then eventually I just give up and buy an open gun or a PCC. So, yeah. No, it's just how it is. It's how it goes. Like, we all get old and we die and quit shooting. You know, it happens. So, all right. I think we'll save the rest for the rest for next week. There's because the next thing we had on the rundown was night training, which I've never done except for our night match, and I'm going to be scheduling our night match at my club here this week, and along with all of our club matches, I'm finally getting around to that. So that's really the only night training I've ever done is shooting our night match. Like, the first time I ever shot a pistol in the dark was at our night match. So
yep.
It's super cool. We'll be talking about that next week, and hopefully we'll have some other like relatively interesting things to talk about, like maybe Jeff's sniper night. What? Shoot? You're doing a sniper night shoot? He's typing it into the rundown.
I did one.
Oh, you did one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what this is about?
Yeah, I was trying to make a note because I was like, oh yeah, I've done this at night, done this. Oh, I'm like, oh, I forgot about the coolest thing I did at night.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that next week and whatever other nonsense. Maybe by the time, I don't think I'll have my TSO back by then. Probably not.
One quick shout out. Vince hit me up after listening to the show and was like, hey, you mentioned the trainer things.
The trainer
I found
cover?
the trainer covers. I found that old email. What's your address? And I was like,
He's sending you one?
yeah,
He's such a
Vince
good
is
guy.
good people. He's such good people. Hit him up for all of your cutting needs for optics. Just get a SRO or hollow sun.
Well, and I'm one of these typical, like last week when we were talking about, you know, the GoFundMe for my life membership if I end up the Area 3 director. I felt so guilty that he offered up the free cut. I'm like that the day I was sending off my slide and optic, I went and bought the SRO battery cover removers and a cover target focus trainer for my 507 comp. Because I'm like, he's doing this for free. I got to spend some money with him, damn it. So
we're Midwesterners at heart.
I just have to. I had to spend. I couldn't just like take the free and not spend money, even though I didn't.
Stonebridge Gun Works.
Yes, Stonebridge Gun Works.
Go to their website, check them out. Vince is a wonderful, wonderful dude.
Wonderful guy. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen to it. And website someday I'll get that done. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.